Oh, say, can you see what space is doing to me?
Welcome to America, land of bullshit. Fuck what you heard this country's about. Equality, freedom, prosperity for the wrong type of Americans. That shit don't work out. If the so-called leaders or elected politicians are having any kinds of doubt, listen to citizens from the east, west, north, and south. Ain't nothing but bad things coming out of people's mouth. This two-party system is flawed. All these evil corporations carry way too much clout. Corruption is rampant, and no one is held accountable for all the promises that they vowed. So right now the hobos will shout aloud what the people truly care about. Term limits, free healthcare, living wages, and the right to smoke out.
I heard some say it's the home of the brave, but you might get played. They say go home, but it's a slippery slope when candidates are a joke. You slave just to eat, but ain't nothing cheap. It's the land of the America, where you have the right to obey, or get maced in the face, better yet get tased, or kicked in your ribs, so when you flinch in pain, they say you was resistant and blow out your brains. You may be a felon or a handicapped innocent, they don't discriminate, they'll murder any citizen. Good cop come to put a stop to the bad one, they end up losing their job, the chief won't back them. Exercise free speech, your rights get trampled, they mobilize the bots and the trolls, you get canceled. Watch how you talk on social media will ban you. Crowd disinformation, they actually wrote the manual. Discredit your good word, manipulate your thoughts, play around with the interest rate, manipulate the cost. Spring your tax money, buying weapons of war, while oppressing the homeless and victimizing the poor. I heard some say it's the home of the brave, but you might get played. They say go home, but it's a slippery slope when candidates are a joke. You slave just to eat, but ain't nothing cheap. It's the land of the free. I heard some say it's the home of the brave, but you might get played. They say go vote, but it's a slippery slope when candidates are a joke. You slave just to eat, but ain't nothing cheap. It's the land of the free.
I guess it would help if I unmuted myself. So, hello, everybody.
Hi.
We've got No Name Coder, EJ, and Friends in Code here with me, and we got some really cool shit to show you. Like, the way I see it is these guys have taken the surveillance weapons, and yes, I'm calling them weapons, that the police have been using against us for decades, and recently, of course, because there's some new shit out, and they have turned it the other way, so that instead of it being only used by them, it is something that we can use too to keep ourselves safe from harm. This is really exciting. I'm like really excited about this. If you guys want to go ahead and explain what this website and app is and how you guys came about making it, that would be dope.
Sweet. I guess I'll start off. I'm Friends in Code, aka Chris, aka No Name and EJ. I've been around for a hot second and watching cops and watching the cop videos on ScrewTube and everything like that. And you know, one day out of the blue, everybody was saying I need to meet this No Name Coder guy, and they were like, he's working on some really cool stuff, and we should meet up. And then the very next day, No Name, well, the very next stream I did after people started trying to get in touch, get us in contact with each other. No Name was on my live stream, and we traded information and started talking, and he started telling me a little bit about what he was doing, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to bring another friend in on this, EJ. And he was like, sure. And we all got to talking, and one thing led to another, and now it's a company. But No Name has a better story to tell with it than I do. You want to fill in on that? No name.
Sure. So, I was sitting at home one day. I'd just gotten off of work, and I put my feet up. I was leaning back in the recliner, and I was watching, cop watches on YouTube. And I saw this officer first refuse to identify to the cop watcher that was there, and then also said to the guy, like, "We're going to find out who you are because we have facial recognition." And it just got me thinking, like, why can't we do that to them? And then I figured out we could, and I started working on it, and I came across a piece of really cool technology, and it allowed me to do something that I think everybody should be able to do. And so I kind of stopped work on the actual project, and I made a YouTube channel just to find out if people actually wanted this stuff. And I don't know, 8 months later, I met Friends in Code, and I haven't really published much to YouTube since, a little bit, but we've been busy actually writing code since then.
So what kind of capabilities does this website have? Like, what can you use it for?
Quite a few. So I'm really proud of the agency and officer profiles that we've built because they'll provide you with essential information. Like if you just click on the profile, it's just going to have like high level overview stuff. It'll give you the option to dive deeper if you really want to find out more about that particular department or officer. But it's going to have like all the basic stats there on the page. And then if like you go to a department and you see their roster and there's an officer missing, you can add the officer right there. Um, and that helps put him in the system for us to start learning about and gathering information about. You can upload records and documents, any kind of relevant files you have about any agency or department in the system. And you're able to search with facial recognition. And so if you have nothing more than a picture of an officer and we know who he is, we can tell you about him.
Facial recognition. So like the same shit that they use on us, during protests.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The same technology.
So you mentioned the other night about there's like there you have something that's set aside for later use, but it's supposed to be for when people are like interacting with a cop live in person, and if they go live on their YouTube page or whatever, if that cop is in your system, it'll pop up. Is that correct with the facial recognition thing?
That is definitely something that we're working on and do actually, have been working on for well over a year. But the what it can do is basically, you can have an overlay, like basically you'll send the stream to the police record first. We'll analyze it, and then basically you have just like when you have what are they, TTSs and things like that. You'd be sitting on your live stream and you see somebody get a donation, or something will happen by somebody buys subscribers or something for the channel and it pops up on the screen. Well, we can affectionately do the exact same thing. So when we actually detect a cop in the actual live view and we have him in our database, and you're not in Texas or Illinois, it'll actually bring up the record, like the record that No Name was just talking about.
So would you
So
see like any public complaints about the officer, or would you what would I see if I was to type in a name of a cop or a department of a cop? What would I see pop up?
the bare
What kind of
minimum,
information am I going to be privy to by doing this?
yeah. So the basic on what you would actually see is that, depending on what information we actually have on the officer, right? Let's say we just have he's brand new to the system. We got him in there, got him or her into the system, right? and we have their salary. We might have how many complaints they have. You could see things like that, right? It's not like we're going to take up your whole screen. We're going to show you a picture of the officer, give you his name, his date, um, more than likely his salary. If we had the statistics on his complaints and things like that, then you could probably see that he or she has multiple complaints, or quantity of complaints, right?
Okay. So, like, I was reading this morning about this young man who was murdered here in Washington State 3 or 4 years ago, and the cop who killed him just recently was convicted of his murder and is being sent to prison. I don't think he's even been sentenced yet.
Hmm.
I think he's still sitting in county, but he had killed 3 other people before, and all 3 times it was, oh, they had a knife and they were coming at me. Which makes me think, no, they didn't have a knife. You had a knife, and you you just happened to put it on them after you murdered them. But would, like, say I run into a cop who has a history like that,
So
would would there be a special alert or anything like that that says, "Hey, this motherfucker's killed somebody"?
so as of right now, no, there's not a specialized alert that says this is a killer cop or anything like that, right? If we have the information on him, you'd be able to find that information on the report that we would generate on him, right? As far as, like, because when you're live streaming, it's really important that you capture what's actually going on and not muddy the water, so to speak, with
Yeah,
as
block it
much
up
detail.
with a bunch of
Yeah,
text and
e-
stuff. Yeah,
exactly, because you know the couple of seconds, or the couple of minutes that it might take us to actually identify this cop, if that, you, like I said, there could be a lot going down in the live stream. So the ability to at least know that the officer is in the system would be shown in the actual live part of it, right? We would know that he had complaints and things like that, and then would move forward from there. You would be able to, you wouldn't be, unless you had, like, the keyboard warriors behind you that could actually go to the site and actually pull the report, or if they had, uh, pull the report, or be able to see the information that's on the site. It's not like we have a um, mechanism in there to say, hey, look, this is a dangerous cop, other than saying, hey, look, he's got 5, 10, 15, 20 complaints, right? You'd have to use the statistical data that we provide to see that in what's overlaid, right? But as far as if there's news records and things like that on this officer for doing things that are not lawful, we would have the ability to have that in our system, right?
yeah.
Um,
Now, one of you guys said something about uh, being able to track cops, like if they go by your house a bunch because they're busy fucking with you.
so the cops going by the house is a feature that um, we're not releasing yet. Basically, what it is that all types of cameras, whether they're security cameras, or cell phone cameras, or the Sonys with all the fancy equipment to stream with, they all stream video in some form or fashion, right? That's how you watch your security cameras, things like that. The thing that we would, the thing that would, um, as it sits, there's not a perfect way of doing the home security stuff yet, right? So, this is where we're getting the information, and, slowly rolling out, through these means of, cell phone and U-bloobs and all these other streaming technologies that everybody's easily familiar with, right? Because when you do the home stream, right, you're picking up all kinds of extra information of what's going on. The one of the interesting things that we have on our site is the ability to upload pictures of the police cars, right? So that we could add it into the system to be able to detect whether it's a face, a car, what it might be. Does that
I
answer your
see.
question? I mean,
Yes.
the home security part is not something that is, released at this moment,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah. I
is,
know you guys have like a bunch of like parts of the website or the app that are not going to be released until you guys have so many subscribers or whatever, because of how expensive it is to hold that kind of
right.
information in a
It's more of how expensive it is to actually process that information, right?
oh, okay,
Um,
process.
yeah, because I mean, you're not going to go get a 386 computer, an older computer, and um, be able to do facial recognition on it, right? Um, these are, these computers and servers that we have, right? They have specialized video cards in them to actually help us do a lot of this parsing, right? And then a lot of this identification.
These cards are literally so advanced, like they're graphics cards, but you can't even plug a monitor into them. Like they don't even exist to actually do graphics. They're
No,
just for
you
the
just plug it,
AI.
right?
That is insane.
Hmm.
Yeah. What's even more insane is the cost of, because everybody's wanting to do AI, is the cost of these cards, right?
Yeah,
That's the insane part.
yeah.
You can look at
Nvidia's
anywhere
making a
from,
killing.
yeah. I mean, you can look at a card starting at $4,000 and go up from there, right?
That is
For
just
the latest
crazy.
technology in the APIs, right? And they, I've seen them as high as 10 to 15,
Jesus
right?
fucking Christ.
Right. And that's not including the rest of the hardware to run the damn thing, right? That's just to get the card that can actually do the processing we need. You still need a computer or a server at that point to power the thing.
Well, I tell you what, me playing in the music business and everything. Maybe one day I'll start charging for what I do, and I'll get rich, and we'll handle this.
We
Don't mind
appreciate
me.
it.
I can totally be charging for what I do, but I don't.
So me and EJ were working earlier, and we came up with a kind of a rough timeline. Like we think the app might be available for download in January. Um, like right now, we can kind of use it, and it does some really cool stuff with like facial recognition and pulling up records. We're gonna show it off in Florida next week.
Nice.
And yeah, so we should be able to release like consumer version sometime in January. And
Awesome.
then yeah, we think that'll really help kind of push us over the edge where more people get to see about it and get to hear about it, because it's on the App Store. And the more and more people that pick it up and use it, the more powerful it's going to be.
Now,
So,
say somebody like oh crap, what the hell is his freaking Cop Watch San Diego? You know how he has
mhm,
that website where he has like the last 50 years of police and all their bullshit from his town, but just from
mhm,
his town. What if
yes,
somebody like that has, there's a bunch of people out there who have records like this on all the cops in their town.
it would be
How would they,
amazing.
how would they get them to you to
So,
It
if
all
you want to
starts
share
with
my
an
screen
email.
real quick, I'll show you.
okay. Alrighty, here we go.
Right.
I'm
So,
gonna full screen this.
I would just go right here to this Get Started button. I would tell it I want to log in. I would pick one of these accounts. I'd log myself right on in, and then I just pick this department near me, right? And I would scroll down here to where it says upload a record for this agency. I would click this button and I would put whatever file I wanted to upload in there and push this button.
That's it. That's all you
That's
gotta do.
it. Yeah.
Fucking
It,
dude, that's
and
so
it works
easy.
it works just the same for these officers, right? Like you see Patrolman Joel Kester here.
Uh huh.
We can go right over here. You can add him to your watch list, which means you'll get notifications when we find new stuff about him. You can generate a report, or you can upload records just the same. You just put in the file, click upload, and we got it.
And now, is it just me or does he look high as shit?
I think he maybe does.
Okay. So, you got any heavy hitters that you got in here that we can kind of read about, or?
No, because I don't have any reports. They're
Oh, okay.
expensive, and to see a lot of the details, I have to buy a report, and I haven't bought any of them yet. I can show you some of the worst ones, at
Okay,
least from
yeah,
here.
let's do that.
This one here has done some particular egregious stuff. There was a video about him I uploaded to my channel. Um, and once we got a little bit more time to work on this, you guys will start to see a little bit more of the stuff that we've got behind the scenes. I wish I could get permission from the board to show you that stuff, but I don't think they're gonna let me. Because it's like
Tonight.
the deep underground stuff. And this button right here that says search,
Uh-huh.
that's all you have to do to do a facial recognition search. Just pitch a picture, put it in there, and hit the search button.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, of course, STD. It's definitely going to take time to grow, but I mean, this is a great starting point. Now, didn't you say something about? I know that I gave you access to one of my emails that I've been collecting info that, like, anytime the cops are mentioned, and anytime cops kill are mentioned, or cops sexually assault or batter or are involved in this or corruption or like all these keywords, I had, you know, set up Google alerts, and they would send it to this email that I had set up. Now,
So we are
how?
working pretty hard to parse email, to not just for that, but for several other, like, of the pieces of our system where we
Mm-hmm.
get information that comes in through email. We've started building the pieces of the pipeline, but they're not done yet. There's still a bit of work to go. Don't get it twisted, but all the stuff I've shown you today is functional. It all works. I don't know if you saw that facial recognition search, but that was the
Yeah,
local police chief here.
where you live?
Yeah, and it got
Oh,
him with nothing more than a picture.
wow,
Yeah, and it can do it for all of them. Well, not all of them. I think we got 60 out of the 82.
that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Hobo
Really
Joe,
useful
aka
thing.
Desert Goat, asks, like the cop in Fort Worth, Texas.
So, like the cop in Fort Worth, Texas, because he's in Texas, you can't do facial recognition on him, right? But we can go here, and you see where that select state is, and make sure you're in Texas.
And these are the ones we know about in Texas. There are a lot of them.
Now, just because you see them here doesn't mean we actually have the whole roster for each one of these places, right? And the cop if you're talking about the Kruger from the CFW incident, there will be information on him in there.
As well as Royce City. We have a few of those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck Royce City.
Right?
Fucking bunch of evil sons of bitches.
Felony sidewalk chalk, huh?
Here's some
For
from
real.
Fort Worth.
We do have a couple officers actually from Fort Worth. Right. One of the things that is really important to understand is just because you submit a cop to us doesn't mean that he's going to instantly show up in our system, right? There's a verification process that we go through to make sure that this officer, A, still works at the police department that we have him listed or her listed at, and B, that nothing's changed in their whether they're a sergeant, a patrolman, whatever their ranking is with the department.
Yeah,
Right.
as of right now, when you do find yourself using the site, you won't see statuses for things you submit. We do have something in the backlog to get that working.
Right.
And
That's what's up. Actually, I got like a fatty case file. I won't send you guys the whole thing because it's literally all about that one case. Code the oh my god, Fitzpatrick was his last name. I can't think of his first name. The man that they killed here in my town. Like,
Yes,
well, but the one that like actually was caught on video because they didn't know there was a surveillance camera up at the window of that apartment.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I have like the case file from APD and the case file from the sheriff's department for that whole thing. I mean, it's massive, and nothing aligns. Like, it's like, okay, who's lying? Take your pick. But
And that's the kind of thing we're so glad that we now have AI to help us sort out.
yeah, well, and so if I did send you all of it, you wouldn't have to like page by page go through it to find the important shit. Your AI would do it for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's way too much data for us three to process on our own. So we thought the better plan was to build a really capable system to help us sort through all the wheat, you know?
You know, and make the associations, because, you know, that one incident was not just one cop, right? That was multiple cops that did that incident, right? So, you know, you want to make sure that we tie all the relevant pieces together.
Definitely. It's fucking trippy. Just fucking trippy. So basically, like, they've made America a surveillance state, bigger than shit. And what you guys are doing is you're turning that surveillance state around on them.
Yeah. Fire with fire.
So, say I'm driving down the road and I get pulled over, and I'm not live or anything, and so I have a passenger who's got your app pulled up. What should they do to help protect themselves from whoever the fuck's going to walk up on them?
Start by getting their picture and submitting it to the search. And if we do have them, you'll get back a little card that you can tap to show their profile. And like I said, you'll have basic statistics and stuff from there. And if you really need detailed information, you can get it. And then if we don't have that officer, if he's one of the ones we haven't found yet, the very act of stopping and recording him with our app will add him to the system.
Yeah. So basically, that's where the live reports and that little dog on the left hand side, that digital canine unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically, we have a dispatcher that when that picture comes in and it goes and looks and goes, hey, do we have it? No. Then we should start trying to see if we can find anything. Right. And that's what dispatches the canines to go out and go basically bloodhounding through multiple different systems, not just Google, multiple systems to go find information on this officer. Right, whether they're in news reports, Facebook posts from their command, you know, things like that, you know, whether it might be that they have lawsuits or trials going on with their name in it. Right, those are all things, you know, basically, like, just like your title says, man, it's the PI that you never knew you needed, right? You know, because that was one of the things that I've gotten asked before is, you know, from a lawyer is that, you know, I have a PI that does really good work for me. And I'm like, well, that's great. I'm wonderful. You know, this just supplements that on another level, because the PI that you actually have working for you, he or she is only human, right? They can only do so much during their awakening hours, right? And, you know, where with the system, it's just searching by itself. You know, you click the search button, it goes out and goes and does it until it's done. Right. And, you know, once it's done, it'll come back and give us all the information that's found. Right. And that's where the reports and the advanced reports come into the whole situation. You know, basically, you know, once the basic report is found that, hey, look, we've got, you know, we found 5 art news articles on them. They're, you know, we don't make any determination whether they're flattery or not, right? But what we do, there we go.
Sorry,
Right.
I'm a 5-year-old. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, no worries. But you can see where these police departments are being scraped, right? They're in different processes, in different progress points of, gathering information on this, on these police officers and on these police departments, right? So, it's just part of this, just like anything else, everything new, you still got to build it, right? Well, we've built the infrastructure to handle, we've built the infrastructure to, pull in more data, and hoover up as much as we possibly can and give us the ability to validate, whether or not this is good information or not.
I see. I'm digging this. I can't wait to fucking see it
So
like at
that
full
little
charge,
that little shortcut I just showed you was actually our dev site, so it's not really accessible to the public.
Oh, well, that's
But
mean.
I know, and I'm sorry, but I have generated a couple of reports on there, so I thought I'd show you guys like the current status of what the reports are. You can see how much data has been collected. Like it'll update in real time too as it's working. That report will keep telling you, hey, I'm in this stage, or I'm in this stage, or this is how many pieces of data I found.
Right.
Nice. Do that. Yeah, do that.
Show it again. Right. And like I was saying, while he's pulling this back up, as long as you're not in Illinois or Texas, and if you are in Illinois,
Now, why is Illinois and Texas off limits?
Because they basically have laws on the book that the attorney general can come in and sue us for each officer that we have facial identifying information on, right? It truly falls into the rules for thee and not for thou, right? Basically what's happening there, right? So what you're actually running up against is that they preemptively wanted to try to stop something of this nature being used against them. And the sad thing about it is that people have asked us, talking about how facial recognition is not perfect, and how people went to jail over misidentification. Well, we're not sending anybody to jail over misidentification. If we misidentify a cop because he or she has a doppelganger, right? We made a mistake, right? Where when they do it, they actually ruin somebody's life,
right?
The other thing is that our system's not built to hold any personal information on the officer.
I wouldn't be able to get their home address from it.
No, there's we don't even have a place to store that information. There's other systems out there that does the home address and things like that. We're not trying to build a system that doxes. We just want to build a system where we can have a data-driven conversation about policing, right? And have a spot where information is available to the public, right? And to let them know that, hey, yeah, we do have this officer, and if you want more information on them, this is where our reports and our advanced reports come in, right? And where we're asking for actual money, because it does take us money and time and effort and electricity and hardware and new hardware, to house this information, right? So
just for that one file that I got from Aberdeen on that one case, it cost me almost $80. And
right.
I got one not just from Aberdeen, but I got another one from the sheriff's department, and that one cost me more than that.
Right. So in those situations, if you gave us that information and we included it on a report, right? The report itself, either you buy a single report or you sign up for our monthlies, right? And if you get one of our invite codes, right? And we'll drop it in the link. We'll drop it in the chat probably here in a second. But if you get an invite code, we're charging $6 a month, right? If you don't have an invite code, it's $48 if I remember correctly.
Now that is one hell of a fucking deal. So wait, from $38 down to $6.
Right.
I want that fucking code.
Of course. of course, and this is, this is how we're getting it up and getting it going, right? The thing is that, we expect, certain people are, take for example, your cop watchers are going to want to know how many damn incidences, how much they're making, things like that, right? Um, when you start getting into the data sciences of this, I see things like the ability to do the advanced reports where it shows how individuals or pieces of information are actually linked to each other, right? Your deep dive into the data that would take months, years, and days to complete, where our system can generate it in hours, right? Given the right data, we can generate it in hours, where everybody else is having to sit down and spend days, months, years to try to, basically connect the dots, right? And that's where, the system's just not designed for just cop watchers, right? I see lawyers wanting to use it. I see, news reporters wanting to use it. I see a whole host of other users other than just, what you see on the blue.
So this is a neat feature. I don't know if you guys can hear me. If we go down here to one of these police departments, I can just click add to my watch list.
Right.
And then scroll right over here. And they're now on my watch list. And I can just go check them out anytime. Like, we finally have our own watch list for these guys.
Right? Like,
right?
No, like I just recently, who the hell was it? Somebody got a copy of their Brady list, and they walked through the process of how they got it, and it was on a video. It was one of our people. I can't remember who the hell it was though.
Was it Shields of Shame, maybe?
Possibly.
He's done a couple of good videos on how he gets records, and he's good at it.
But yeah, so like you could utilize that kind of thing too, right?
Oh yeah.
Hi STD, thanks for popping in.
Yes, absolutely anything that has any kind of information about a police officer belongs on this website.
Right.
Good officers, bad officers, any officers. They belong on here.
Right, because the public truly deserves to see, right? The thing that happens is that, it seems that these cops will make the news, and then, since it's not in their permanent file, right? In the actual permanent file of that's readily accessible through open records, right? Some of that stuff gets forgotten, right? And is not known about without, sending a PI to spend countless hours trying to dredge up this information, right? Where if we have it, right, it's always there. It's always there. You'll be able to come back and look at it later on, right? And we'll show you how
it's never gonna disappear on you.
As long as we can keep the doors on and the lights open.
Yeah. Yeah. They constantly, they have police unions, and they're constantly lobbying and legislating and making it harder to get the records about them. And then their police unions have agreements where they just disappear after so long. And I didn't sign up for that agreement, so we're not making anything disappear.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that confuses me, is that, people who supposedly represent us are doing all this voting and shit on our behalf and writing legislation on our behalf, but none of them will talk to any of us. I mean, not unless you're going to spend 10 grand a plate.
Right.
And then that, even with that, you're just guaranteed to be in the same room with them, not exactly have their ear or their focused attention.
Nope.
So how the hell are they actually voting on our behalf at all, ever? They're not voting our will, they're voting their own will. That's just crazy to me.
So if you look down now at the very bottom, you'll see a stream URL and a stream key. or maybe in just a
Uh
second
huh.
we will. And those,
Like the two white spaces.
mhm,
I'm
Correct.
blind as shit. I can't see any of this. I'm not gonna
totally
lie.
fine.
Hey, Janelle.
Those white spaces right there, right now, are like our kind of hacky way to make the app stream and stuff. Um, we've been working on it, but it's very detailed, low-level code. It's taken the best of our coders, days to puzzle out pieces of it. So it's coming, and it's coming soon. Like I said, we're going to show off some bits and pieces of it here in Florida. But this is going to be the stuff that allows you to see, like, on the spot. This is the officer. This is the kind of history he has. This is maybe how I should proceed. So
Right.
I
definitely
love
very
that. I
important.
love that so much. I love that so much. Because knowing who you're about to fucking go toe to toe with or who you're going to bow down to, that information can save your fucking life.
Here's another thing people don't really get to see. It's one of our analyst pages where they can confirm or reject information that we've received about an officer. So as you can see, somebody put notes in for his data hire and his salary. So that's information we would already be able to give the users.
I fucking love it.
And
I
all
love it. How much does he make? I can't read. I can't read it because I can't. I'm blind, dude. I can't.
$99,994.96.
And what year was that?
I don't know which year he made that. I'm assuming it was 2024 or 2023, one of the later years, but he's only been at that department since 2015.
That's a lot of fucking money
Yeah,
for.
for 8 years
Yeah,
on the job,
yeah.
9 years on
That's
the
a lot of
job.
money.
Yeah,
There's a couple of cops down in California that make literally just shy of 1 million a year.
that is
I have all
insane.
their info. I'll gladly give it to you so you guys can throw it up there.
Yes, man, that's gonna
Because
be
that
amazing.
makes me want to throw up every time I see that shit.
I wonder if they cost us more with their salaries or if they cost us more with like their lawsuit payouts.
Right?
I don't know yet, but that's one of the statistics that after we have all of the data hoovered up, that we'll be able to start generating.
Oregon Rogue wants to know, can this be used in court?
So the answer is it's not. It's not recognized by any courts at this moment, right? But the trails and the information that we give you will send you to the locations where you can validate,
Yeah,
validate the data and have it be acceptable in courts.
yeah. Everything we provide, if you get one of these reports that we're talking about,
It's verified facts
yes,
that they're.
you're
Yeah,
gonna have the
you're
exact
going to have
location where it
receipts.
came from. Yeah, we don't just leave you hanging. Like if you get one of these reports, you're gonna know, where the data come from, how we validated it. You're gonna be able to show these kinds of things in court.
That's what's up. That's a great
So
question, Oregon Road. Thank you.
it is. Thank you. I appreciate that question.
Me too, because it makes me think a little bit.
Well, I mean, the whole thing was built on bringing receipts,
Hmm.
right? And so, in my opinion, we've been thinking about it since we started, right? Because it's the logs, it's the metadata behind the actual content, right? We might have something that might be sealed, right? It might be sealed in their officer's record, right? But we got the news stories that covered it. We got everything else that covered it. And if you have video of an officer and you can go, hey, is that you in that video, right? you know they can, we can say, hey, look, with the 90% percentage, we believe that that's who is in this video,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We can
And then
do
you
like
can go look it up
99,
and you can go talk to
97.
I apologize, go ahead.
No, generally human recognition of people scores about 92%, I think, and the system we're using right now peaks at about 97.8. So we're
Wow.
better at telling the difference between people than people are. Like by a long shot, by
That's
several percentage
crazy.
points. So Well, it does have its faults, and there are certainly going to be times when, with a single picture, it misidentifies somebody. It does much better with video because it has so many frames. But there will be times when with a picture where it might not come back with an identification that it should. But we also use those to improve. In the data science world, they're known as false positives and false negatives. And we actually use the occurrence of those false positives and false negatives to improve the accuracy of the system over time.
That is so much more than what they do with it. I mean, they don't even bother.
No,
they go out and
they're,
buy a
They,
completely
we
product hoping that they
misidentified you
do.
and you had to spend time in jail and you lost your job and your home and your wife and your kids. Oh, sorry about that.
yeah, they don't
Sorry,
do
shit.
video and
Sorry,
cross
shit.
confirm and call and make sure, and yeah, they don't do any of that. They just jump.
Emerald, it pulls up the 5 closest to you. And the crazy thing is if you go back to it later on down the road and you've moved from where you were originally were at, let's say by a couple, 10, 15 miles northeast, south, or west, right? That unless you're out in the middle of Texas somewhere, right, or in the middle of California, nowhere land, right, that's only covered by those 5 departments, it's gonna change, right? So it's a live real-time system.
But I think it's only 3 unless you're subscribed to one of the advanced features.
It is 3. My apologies.
Nope. It gets bigger, like the watch lists get bigger too. But once again, we're not trying to take all of the money, but we need some of the money to make this stuff happen. So, if you can't deal with 3, you can totally upgrade.
Yeah. And by the way, again, if you use their invite code, you get it for $6 a month instead of $48 a month. I mean,
right.
Dude, that's a huge fucking difference.
And one of the things that we said in the last one that we did is that, if you're living in Illinois or Texas, the current subscription model doesn't make any sense, right? Because you can't use the features that come with it, right? Yeah. You can still log in, you can still get the basic information, and you can buy a report from us, right? But you can't use the facial recognition thing of it, right? We wouldn't be able to say, and I'm going to pick on Harvey Freeberg because he's the first one that jumps into my mind down in Texas right now. Harvey wouldn't be able to use the real-time facial recognition, right? He wouldn't be able to show, cop with badge number 1234, John Smith, was on his camera, right? But that's not to stop, somebody in Harvey's chat to go to the police record, go to the enforcement where he's at, and manually look the guy up, right? We can't use numbers to determine if that's who's in the view of the camera, right? And if you happen to go to the search, the officer search, and you're in Texas or in Illinois, it'll send you to a petition, right? This petition helps is us petitioning our government to change their rules to say, hey, look, you're a public official. You can't trespass the eye, right? You can't say that we can't use facial recognition software on you when you're in a public, setting, right?
Yeah.
And again, I would be more apt to, fear this technology if we were trying to create a complete, synopsis of this human, right? And again, we don't really care, right? We want his 8 to 5, right? We want his 8 to 5, right? If he or she decides to do something stupid that brings one of their other officers into the situation, and they're on their 8 to 5 and they get drug into it, that's their own fault, right? That's their own fault. That's their own doing, right? To me, it's like, I know what the camera's there to do. The camera's not there to do anything except make an objective record, right? If the person behind the camera is being an asshole, you're going to be able to tell, right? If the person in front of the camera is being an asshole, you're going to be able to tell, right? the cameras there is just to give an objective observation of what was actually going on, right? So we don't want his or her home phone number or their AOL email account, or we don't want any of that. If it's publicly available, then shame on them for making it publicly available,
Right.
right?
I agree.
you know
I agree.
if their police department, I've come across police departments that give you the full phone number, a plus extension, to get to every officer in the whole place, right?
We have a few
it,
of
it,
those
it
board.
yeah, I mean, here it is, and if you're using your personal cell phone as a work phone, I've been in computers long enough to know that, to be able to say, hey, look, if the company wants to be able to contact you, they should provide you a cell phone, right? Period. If they, don't use your personal stuff, right? And if you choose to use your personal stuff, that's on you, not on any of us, right? It's like the plain view doctrine on their stupid CADs, right? Everybody, all the cops freak out when somebody records the CAD. It's like, look, bro, when you get out of the car, just like when you put the damn thing in park, reach up there, grab the damn tablet or screen and pull it down, right? You've got all this other shit branded into your head. You might as well go ahead and just close the CAD as you're getting out of the freaking car, right? And then these situations don't happen. And it's where, to me, it's like them trying to use HIPAA against people that are recording. Is it a public place? Yes. Then the onus is on the person under HIPAA to protect that information, right? And if somebody walks up with the camera, excuse me, sir, while I flip over this paperwork, right? And if people are walking up, zooming in, trying to capture that information, again, that's on that person using that camera to get that information, right? It kills me with some of the things that I've heard over the years.
Can I tell Noli about the trumpet?
Okay.
Okay.
Too much is said, enough as is.
Sorry.
Ah, damn it!
Okay, so you said Illinois won't get all the features. I live in Indiana. Will it be able to get the app and use it? Yes. In Indiana, you will be able to. But as soon as we detect that you cross over the state lines, right, you're no longer going to be able to use the facial recognition part of it. And your live stream, if you were doing the live stream with us, we would no longer do overlays, right? That's built into the app, right? If we can't tell where we're at, the app's not going to work, right? Because the financial burden that is placed upon us for one individual is insane, right? If you get 4 cops in there and we run it through our system thinking that they're in a state that can't, that's 4 instances. This could get into the billions quickly, right? And would completely bankrupt us, and we just have to, pass the torch basically to somebody else.
I see. So say I'm brand new to this website and I come in and I want to sign up by using Google, and then like go to the, could you guys walk me through those steps? Because I got Becky over here and she says, wait, I want to read what she said, not what I said. I went to their website using their link and it's got me in a loop. And then she said, I clicked get started or whatever it's labeled, and it just pushes me back out to the page where I decided to log in with Google from.
Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what her error is, but
so after she logs in using Google, she clicks get started and it sends her back.
After she logs in with Google, like I just did, it should take her directly to this page.
Her dashboard page.
Yeah, it should take her directly to the dashboard after she clicks the Google account that she chooses to log in with.
Okay. Shit, did I say her name? I did, didn't I?
Oh, damn it, man.
So
I will take a chance to look over the records in our logs and see if there's some kind of
okay, she is listening. She just doesn't have a
bug.
YouTube account, so she can't comment in the.
No, she's fine. If I'll look over the logs and see if there's some kind of bug that's specific. I know sometimes it causes a big problem if there's no last name on the Google account because it's expecting that, and that's one of my screw ups. So it will be fixed. It's on our list of things to fix that EJ's been making for all the stuff that I messed up, but it's not done yet. So if it may be that your account doesn't have a last name, and I apologize.
You hear that, B? He says he's sorry. He didn't mean to fuck it up on you. Or maybe you should just have a last name on your stuff.
I'm just really good at fucking things up, so.
Me too.
Right?
Oh, Emerald City wants to know what's the promo code.
Okay, so I don't think for the reports, I don't think there is actually a promo code. I can set one up if we need one, but that link that you see there in the chat is the link for the facial recognition search. That's $6 a month.
It's also down in the description below. I think it's the last link in the description.
And I don't think I have maybe I do. I don't know if I have the credentials to change things to make a promo code from my computer. I have to be on a different computer that I can only talk to from my computer. So
Right.
Let me see if I can do it from here. Sorry guys, I'm working. Maybe,
No problem. No problem.
Maybe.
So she said the signal just got extra crappy right when you were talking about what was going on. So she's got to go back and rewatch that part.
Yeah. So again, the other things that we're working on is we'll be given more social media type logins, right? And we've been asked what information we actually collect, right? And the information that is sent over to us is from Google when you sign in, right? Is going to be whatever you have in your first and last name and the date of birth, right? And your email address, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Then,
See, her account, her account only has her initials, not like a first name, last name thing. So.
Yeah, if you just need something in both the first and last name boxes, and it'll move on past that. If you could have J in the first name and then R in the last name, and it would continue on, right? And as far as like the information collected on that, that's what you gave to Google, right? And we're not here to track you. We're here to track cops.
Yeah.
Right. One of the other things is if you figure out that, okay, I don't want any of my shit associated to this anymore, right? The information that you've given to us, you can't take back, right? But you can delete your account, which will, remove your association to the information that you've given us, right? So you can go in, scroll down to the bottom, and there's a account. Give me a second. I forgot what
It's a deactivate account.
Deactivate account. Thank you. Right. You click the deactivate account, it'll prompt you and you tell it yes. And your information, your association to any information that you've given to us has been removed. Right. It's stored in different places. And
that's awesome.
Again, here's one of the other things that I really want to put out there. If you upload anything that is illegal to us, right? Like CP or, trying to be a jackass and try to get us, with something like that, we will notify authorities on your ass. Okay. We're not playing games with this, right? Those things are criminal. We don't, we don't advocate any of it. We don't, we do not want any of that kind of crap. Right.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And, if you are trying to upload something like that to hurt us, we will report you to the 3-letter acronyms. Okay. There is no question about it. There's no stop and collect your $200. We're sending you straight to jail. We will give them every bit of information they need to track your ass down. Right. Everything that we can, we'll give them the Google email address, all that. Right. Because we're here to try to have a data-driven conversation about how policing is done in America. Okay. As of right now, we do not support federal agencies in any way, shape, form, or fashion. We're not ready.
That would be extra scary. I don't even know if I would fuck with that.
It's definitely something that has to be discussed amongst the bar members, right? To figure out, because one of the biggest things is that, if you're a police agency and you have undercover cops and you want to make sure that they're not, you need to reach out to us and sign up, right? Because it's not free for this data. It's not free. So you need to sign up, let us know, send us an email at info, and then to top it all off, you're not going to send me your whole fucking roster of police officers and tell me every one of them's undercover. It doesn't work that way.
I was just gonna ask you, but what if they say they're all undercover?
That doesn't fly. And the reason I say that it doesn't fly, because I'll go find their Facebook post, I'll go find their social media post, I'll go find a news post on them that shows that they're not being serious about it. And then when they want to try to push the issue, we'll let the judge decide that, right? But if they send us something showing that this officer is deep undercover, we'll respect the request. But you're not going to tell me your whole police roster is undercover.
Yeah, definitely. That's a joke and a half. I mean, I don't even think that in my little town, I don't even think we have any cops who work undercover. Like, we don't. They're all fucking beat cops.
Right. So, in that situation, and again, we believe that there is a need for policing, right? But we don't believe that the current methodology of how it's discussed, how it's handled, we believe there needs to be more transparency in this.
Oh, definitely.
Right. We believe that, we need to have a better data-driven conversations about this. I mean, because in certain,
I want to know why the hell all these these like, since the internet came out and like all government agencies had the internet and had fucking access to the data storage facilities that the government has access to. Why is it that even brand new records that are being made today are not fully accessible online at your county fucking website? Like,
Because
why
that
can't I
would
just
make it
touch
way
it
too easy.
Right.
If I was in their position, I would try to do anything possible to make it hard and difficult.
Yeah. Completely. I mean, why do you think trying to get public records is such a pain in the dick?
Oh, I hate it. I hate
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's some places are really great, and like they'll get back to you right away, and they'll even help you like narrow it down so that you're not getting shit that you don't need, or they'll help you expand because it's way more than what you thought it was. And then there's these other places that will wait until the 31st business day to contact you to tell you no. And then you got to argue with them and tell them that you're going to send, the Department of Records after their ass if they don't fucking give you a legitimate reason on why they're not going to do what they need to do.
Right.
We have ideas of how to handle that in mass when we make our requests, at least. But it is a very annoying process.
I actually I include whenever I write one up now, I include the federal laws on how they're supposed to do it. And I don't care if you have a special form or not. This is my form. Here is my email, and you are going to use this, and I will show you why you're going to use this.
And sometimes they need to be reminded of things like that, right? Here is the actual law, right?
So
And
Noli.
again,
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
no, again, real quick, I just want to say thank you, Emerald City. Very much appreciate it, man. You're making it you're getting us one step closer to us working on this 8 hours a day times 3, which will give us 24 hours a day of work on this thing.
I did make a promo code for 30% off for the report subscriptions for 3 months.
That's what's up.
Right, and it's Noli D for 30. So
just so everybody knows, B said this. She's talking about me and where I live. She says you have like 2.5 cops in your town.
right. Yeah, there's a few departments that we know of that only have 1 officer.
Isn't that crazy? Like, hello,
Yeah.
24 hours a day? What?
Yeah, there's a town about 20-minute drive from me that only has 1 officer, and I've even confirmed that they only have that 1 officer. So he's on patrol like 8 hours a day, and he's on call for the other 16.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
You know, that cop deserves to be making, $100,000 a year.
Right?
You know,
Amen.
He probably gets like 30.
Right. The town probably can't afford to do that.
Right.
Right. And he's out there doing it. That I would be willing to bet dimes to dollar that officer is actually out there doing it for the right reason. Right. He's not some kid that got bullied in high school.
There's no influence of corruption over him because it's just him. So either he's really good or he's really evil. Like,
right.
There's no middle on that one. That he's pure evil or he is pure saint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet you he works more like a what do you call it? A social worker. He probably works more like a social worker on a day-to-day basis, breaking up geriatric sites and shit.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Cold and flu season, people. It is upon us.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
B says, "Oh wow, well she went on a rant. All of that shit should be online and accessible to the people. It's because they are sleaze bags that think they are above us peons." I fucking love this woman so much.
I'm serious. I'm with her. Like, so I don't know if you guys
We're
know,
so much with her. Scroll down to the bottom of the website and show her that Latin.
So Missouri just started this or passed this law that makes it impossible to get police disciplinary records.
Yeah, like that's impossible. Insane to me. You know, I'm sorry. That is part of their work record. That all of that should be fucking accessible. Yeah. Their piss tests should be accessible. Their hair follicle tests should be accessible. Their fucking that thing where they got to go and like do a physical test. Yeah, but they weigh like 800 pounds. I think that info, pass or fail on that shit, should be available.
Right? They're training records.
Because I know that there are cops out here who there's no way in hell they pass that fucking test.
Well, Chris made a really good point with this Latin phrase he came up with for the bottom of our page. We've kind of adopted it as our company motto.
Let not the peasants read.
Yep.
You know, they sit around and let us read, and this is what happens. So, you know, if you, I mean, if you think the technology is only one-sided, I highly recommend you get a ChatGPT account or something like that and dive deep into it. because some type of knowledge searching, right? It,
Definitely.
you know, I've said it for many, many years. Either you're going to be controlled by them or you're going to be controlling.
Is there
Uh,
an AI that doesn't tell you, oh no, we can't talk about that because I feel, because the one I use tells me, like, I will ask it a question and it'll refuse to give me an answer because it feels like that is a topic
Off.
that shouldn't be discussed or whatever. And I'm just like, what are you talking about?
so my only suggestion and things like that is there's a program out there called GPT for All. It's the number 4, and it's a application that you can download that will actually download a large language model to your computer and will run it locally, right? And in the models that they have ones that are called uncensored, right? And you know, take it for what it's worth. You didn't train the data, you didn't do anything other than download and try to use it. You don't know how well trained it is. You don't know how bad it's trained unless you go research it. So there are models out there that'll have conversations with you about um, that I would like
Sensitive
to call
topics.
woke sensitive, right? I mean, hell, for the whole time I was in high school, you could still check out the Anarchist Cookbook, right, from the library,
Oh shit!
right? And,
Now, when I was in high school, we got in trouble for having that book.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm an old bastard, so
Right? No.
so I mean, again, but when it first started out, the cookbook was not to be this thing that taught you how to be uh, make it to the FBI's #1 wanted list, right? It was to
Yeah.
teach you how to survive off of the land, right? And what you could do to, make snares, traps, and things like that to catch, food, right? So, again, those things get interesting. But again, it's called, hey, Seattle Judy, Six Estate, what's up, brother? And 700 Club, I see you too. As time has progressed, information has been taken away, right? Has been censored, right? And the one thing that gets me, um, as soon as we get the police record up, the next one I want to do is governmental bodies, like your
Yeah.
local townspeople, right? Because as soon as you put yourself into the public light, you're in the public light, period, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Agreed.
prime example is Lieutenant Dan over there in Florida, right? All of a sudden, whatever his name on Kick did a fucking live with his ass, right? And it blew up. They're going to get him a boat, blah, blah, blah. And then they found out he had a record, right? Found out he had a record, he had made mistakes. He went to jail. He served his time. He paid his fines, whatever it may be, and still has one open case, right? And everybody was like, oh my God, I can't support this. Right? And it's like, look, man, those that live in glass houses shouldn't cast the first stone.
It's a pretty
Right?
dumb idea to be throwing rocks anyway.
Agreed. Right? And not only that, but at what point, again, at what point does the human actually pay his or her debt to society? Right? At what point? Let's just draw the line in the fucking sand so we can get that over with. Right? Because, I, again, people are just trying to live and survive. There's hard enough shit going on out in the world without, somebody going, oh, well, he's got a criminal record, so we shouldn't support him. What the hell is the criminal record shows of what somebody has done? Does it mean that they're going to continue to do that? I don't believe so. I've met plenty of people that have records, right? And it really perturbs me, right? Unless you're a CP or do the hard R word, right? Or a woman beater or something like that, you deserve your opportunity to come back and be successful in society, right? It should never completely brand you out of society, right? Depending on what you did, I might not want you fucking controlling our the football that the president has, right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, I might not want you, if I knew you had a long history of mental illness and drugs and all this shit, I might not want you lifting 100 tons, right? I might not want you doing certain jobs just because, we need to make sure, right? There's a great chance of death when you lift anything over 50 tons, right? I mean, shit, there's a great chance of death when you just lift 1 ton. I've seen people get crushed under cars. So, we've got to get better at this, right? Not only that, we also need to be better at, if an officer is known to be beating somebody, he needs to find a private sector job. Okay, he doesn't need to be working for the public.
Yeah, he
Right?
shouldn't have any fucking authority or power over another human being. Period.
I'm not going to go that far, because if
I
they own the company,
will, because power
if
trip.
they own the company, they should be able to fire and hire and all that shit, right?
Okay, yeah,
I
if
mean,
they own the company, but I mean, if they shouldn't be a manager, they shouldn't be a supervisor or a CEO unless it's because it's their company that they are in that position of power.
fair. I don't think that we should publicly give them power, right? Right. I don't think that they should be, if, I know shit happens in really split second decisions, right? And one of the ones that comes to mind is where a lady grabbed her service revolver or service firearm instead of her taser and killed somebody, right? And I've been conflicted. I don't think she should be able to get paid to go talk to other police stations about her experience, right?
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think.
that.
I don't think they should be able to
I
get
think
away
that
with
should
it
be
again and
definitely
again
part of
and again.
say again.
Like, I don't think they should be able to get away with it again and again and again. Like, I understand if during one of these really stressful moments an officer makes a bad decision.
Yeah,
But if
but I
that
mean, clearly
officer
he
is making
can't handle
bad
that shit.
decisions, yeah, if he's making bad decisions every time he's in a stressful situation, maybe a job with less stressful situations is the one for him. Maybe he could deliver pizzas or some shit, you know? Ride around and listen to music all day.
The one next after that is if they're in they're in that situation and they've been shown to not handle stress appropriately, they should never be in a training situation, right? Um, there's a group of cops that got their ass in trouble before because I don't remember who did it, but one of these news reporting agencies sent in an undercover, right? And caught these guys talking about how to fuck somebody up, right? And how
Oh
to
my
get away
god,
with it.
was that not that video made me so angry.
Oh, agreed, right? You got these guys that go, "Oh, I was a law enforcement officer for that." They never tell you why they're no longer that, right? Because all of them look like they're healthy enough to still be wearing the badge and the belt and all of that fun shit, right? So it's those kind of situations where it's like, look, man, if you've shown bad intentions for everything, you shouldn't be training. You should not be teaching people how to have your bad intentions, and then especially, right, because they got away with it. They're teaching how to get away with it. I mean, Lane Myers on YouTube, he's proven that right now he's going through a case where the DA has a 50-minute video of telling people how to use Discovery, other DAs, how to use Discovery as a sword instead of a shield. And to me, that's wrong. You don't teach people. You teach people that here's the law as it's written. Period. You know, don't don't teach people how to weaponize a system that is designed or was initially designed to try to serve justice. So.
Yep, all it's been for 400 years now is a big ass weapon.
And sixth estate, that's, the Brady lists are very incomplete. I agree with that statement. The other thing is that, will we have information if an officer's on the Brady list and we have that Brady list? Yes. Right. But we're not solely focusing on Brady list or not Brady list. Right. Because I want to be able to look at some of my data and go, look, here's the represented data of a good cop. Right. I can't wait to be able to do that with the data and go, hey, look, officer blah blah with blah blah place is an exceptional, right? All of his information
Right.
shows that, he spends of his retraining time, he spent 8 hours of that retraining time last month in the law library, right? Trying to actually understand the laws that he was, he took an oath to uphold. Right. It's those kind of things that, make me want to drive to get this data, because I don't want to. I really hate to believe, just based on my knowledge of statistics, that every cop's a bastard. Right. Do I believe that there's a lot of them? Of course. Right. Do I believe a lot of them are punch drunk with fucking power? I believe it. Right. But I also believe that these good cops need help. Okay. Because one of the biggest things is if you're known as a fucking snitch in the cop world, who's going to have your back when you do go out and face some asshole with an AK that has very bad intentions for everybody involved? Right? Who's going to have your back at that point? Right? And if you're a snitch and you got that label, I don't know that, I don't know that those other cops are going to be, willing to put their life down for that kind of shit. Right? Even though it's the right fucking thing to be doing.
Agreed. I deeply agree.
I think that those officers need something more to be able to, have this whistleblower conversation, right, and be able to, protect themselves better. Because at the end of the day, truthfully, all I want is everybody to go home, right? Go home, go to your family, enjoy a hot meal, right? Whether you're on the bad side or whether you're on the fucking civilian side. Everybody should have that opportunity to go home, right? And this officer discretion shit is weaponized. So.
Yeah, it's one fucking big weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that you guys are turning a lot of it around on them, though. I mean,
right? It's about time that people had their own fusion center.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And that's why we're out campaigning right now, if you will. Right. That's why we're asking everybody to sign up, even if you're doing the $6 or you're doing the 30% off the reports monthly for the first 3. The quicker that we can get to a point where myself, EJ, and No Name can focus 24 hours a day on this, at least 8 to 12, instead of the 3 that we're doing now.
I know you, dude. You'd be like 18 hours a day on it. I fucking can already. Yeah,
he does
I've
sometimes
seen you work.
on his days
I've
off
seen you
already.
work before, dude. I've seen you work before, and you were on salary, and you still worked fucking like 18 hours a day. So.
But again, if my salary's coming from the company that we built, now I'm focusing. Myself is focusing on my part of the project. EJ's focusing on his part of the project. freaking No Name is focusing on his side of the project,
Yeah.
right?
We
We're
definitely need you
focusing
guys on this. We need you guys on this fucking 8 hours a day, fucking 5 days a week.
exactly, and we understand that everybody and their mama's asking for money, right?
Yep.
We appreciate it. So if the money is not something that you can do, data might be it, right? It's just like we say when the YouTubers are out there saying thanks and everything. You're hitting the thumbs up, you're sharing it out, you're letting people know about it, right? Those are very valuable in this situation, right? Because the more information we get, the better we're going to be able to give it back,
Yeah.
right? And these reports and everything, I want to get into a position where I can just go, hey, this is a important situation, and we should donate our time and effort to it, right?
Right.
As it sits right now, No Name's got 2 years into it, right?
Wow.
EJ and I have got over a year in it, right? These things, we have to be able to give our children food.
Wait.
We have to be able to keep the electricity on so we can connect to it. We have to be able to keep the internet on so we can, continue to grow this.
Do you
Right?
guys have a merch store?
Kind of, but it's not really got a whole lot on it yet. I had a couple of really awesome ideas for merch. So one of them can actually be used to beat facial recognition technology. So if the police are trying to use it on you and you're wearing our merch, it won't work.
What?
Yes.
Like, wait. Explain that. Like, how? What is this magic?
So it's like
You witch you.
it's like a tiny string of infrared LEDs that are sewn into the hood of your hoodie. And whenever you put the hood up and you push the little button in your pocket that turns the battery pack on, it
Uh-huh.
emits enough infrared light that it overpowers the sensors on the cameras and they can't even see your face.
To a
What
certain
the
extent.
fuck? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes, ma'am. There are also a few other advanced designs that kind of screw with computer vision and how it detects people and stuff in images that we were working on, maybe making into some merch. But it's one of those things, like, once again, if we had 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day or, whatever, it'd be a lot further along. But we get, at best,
I will
sometimes
sew
we
it
get
in
3 or 4,
myself. I will sew it in myself.
right?
I have a sewing machine. I will use it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, all you need is a big string of infrared LEDs that have enough, like a high enough lumen output, and a battery pack and a little switch.
Um, like, how high does the lumen output need to be?
I don't know, but I will look at our specifications
Yeah,
that we have
find
on
out
this little
because
sheet, and I will
I will
email you.
buy a few blank T-shirts or blank hoodies, and I will we'll try this shit out.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm down to help.
Awesome. Right?
I'm
And
down to help.
those, not only are they cool, like, like they'll help get our brand name and stuff out there, but they're very useful, you know?
I
And,
fucking
and,
dig
and the
it.
thing is again, I got to say this for the legal needs. These products are not used to help you commit crimes. These products
No.
are to help you remain anonymous as you are supposed to be able to remain anonymous.
Yeah, as an everyday citizen, fucking walking to the grocery store.
Yeah, like
Yes.
right now, you can't go anywhere without passing a camera, really. And in the in
Dude,
the
you
in the age of
can't.
facial recognition, that means you can't go anywhere without being essentially tracked,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if you're on video, they can figure out exactly who you are.
Yes.
They have the same technology we do, only, they've had a company that's been at it for, just as long as we have, but with a buttload more money. So,
Right.
Hey, we can raffle the first one that works properly. We
mhm,
can raffle that bitch off.
hell yeah, good shit. And we have the perfect platform to test it with because we have facial recognition at our fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Awesome.
right?
Fuck yeah.
That is some good
There's
shit.
other things that you can do with just the way that you put your makeup on that can help deviate accuracy.
Yeah, but like for walking around every day, I don't even like to. I don't like wearing the. Last time I put makeup on,
I do, but
well,
at the same point, you know what I mean? You,
like a
once you
hoodie would
actually,
be so much easier.
oh, it
Right?
would be. Right. Completely.
Oh yes.
Hood me up, Sixth Estate. I see you, bro. I see you.
Right? We are working on it, bro. Like this has been in the plans for a little bit. We've got a specification sheet ready for like the lights and the power and stuff. We just have to get the time to get it all assembled and get it together and test them. And
And this is
Yeah.
again why we're out here
yeah, campaigning. So
promoting.
we got
And
full plates.
like I said, this is why for anybody out there that wants to call me a digital e-beggar, fuck you. I am right. I need
And
your
the thing
help.
is you're not begging for yourself. You're begging for us. For every fucking one of us.
I'm just begging for the ability to put my full commitment into it. Besides what we've done, right?
Yeah.
This little trip to Florida is not cheap, right?
No,
It's not
no.
cheap
It's
at all, right? And those things, they're literally coming out of each one of our pockets, and that we're giving unselfishly to make sure people know about what we're trying to accomplish,
hell
right?
yeah.
That's it.
I
And
love it.
you know I can't wait to the day that I get to go to an institute, a news reporting agency like the Police Accountability Report, and go, hey, would you like to understand a little bit deeper? Would you like to see how this is all connected, and not spend 40 hours of your life trying to figure out the dots between them, right?
Right?
Or the 40 hours that you spend in is just verifying the dots, right? Those things, those are very important things, because even if we collect the data and nobody ever reports on it, what fucking good was it?
Accountability starts with access to data, right?
Hmm.
If we don't know what the hell is going on with these people, we can't even begin to hope to actually hold them accountable for what they're doing.
Or even
You
ask the
know?
right fucking question to start with,
Yeah.
Right? Oh my
right?
god. Fucking my
What,
brain just blew up.
hey, look, Jobo officer was involved with 4 other officer involved shootings, right? And of those 4 other involved shootings, he discharged his weapon 3 of those 4,
But also, you could
right?
find out, hey, there's been a group of officers have been doing this repeatedly.
Hmm. Or wait until we can identify a gypsy cop's behavior, like from department to department, and then match that up with other officers who aren't officially labeled gypsies yet.
Or what even better? What about when the news organizations that we'll call lamestream, I will personally call lamestream, always
Stream. I
always
like
put out the exact wording, not paraphrased, but verbatim wording from the uh, from the police record, or from the officer's PIO, right? When was the last time you actually seen good, hard investigative reporting? What if we made it easier for him to do it? What's $50 to ABC for a reporter? Nothing. They're spending 300 on his office equipment. You know,
right.
Yeah, his
it,
lunch costs more
They,
than
they
that.
have no problems letting a cop get up there on fucking camera and lie their asses off. And then when you show them the truth, they're just like, we're not interested anymore. We don't care.
exactly,
See, one of the
exactly, and
beautiful things is from now on, we'll be able to take all of those video references where they lied their ass off, and also the video references of the proof and the truth of what actually happened, and make a concrete showing in the reports about that officer. This officer got on video and made inaccurate statements about this incident. Here's the video that shows the actual evidence as well as his lies on camera. And that's a powerful thing. Or like if we have an incident, like a video of an incident, and also the officer's narrative, their report on the incident, we can look for inconsistencies in what happened in the video and what they reported happened.
Dude, there will not be a cop on the planet who is not on the fucking Brady list. Like, if we could use that kind of thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
to
Prove
build that brain
patterns.
list
Yeah.
and to be able to look at a cop and be like, "You a liar," and here's the
Mm-hmm.
proof that you a liar, and right there in real time. I mean, I'm sorry, that kind of gives me girlwood. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's good because we get nerd erections over that shit all the time. I'm not even gonna lie. We'll talk about some new feature or some new thing we've developed or some new little trick we found we could do with like manipulating data in the database to see things in a different way, and we'll just get all excited running on about it for like 15 minutes, just balls to the wall, pretty much.
I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I'm so jazzed right now, you guys. You don't even know. What fucking jumped out? What happened?
Just wait till January when you can download that app.
I'm so excited. I'm so
Right?
excited. So yeah, I just pulled you back up, man.
Okay. I just letting you know I fell off. Yeah. So again,
Yeah,
it's
right, Desert Goat? Fucking 100%. A fucking 100% right there. And the thing is with these four gentlemen, I don't know about you guys, but I trust them with fucking shit that I don't trust other people with. And I have faith in their ability and their capability to fucking get this thing done. I mean, look at how far they've come already. And between all of us, if every sixth estate, I know you have stacks and stacks and stacks of reports. You need to send them to these guys, man.
and we're just like, oh yeah, nom, 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 nom,
Yum,
Because
yum,
the
yum, yum,
state
yum,
is
yum.
fucking holding out. Let me tell you what, this dude has info about the info about the info.
We're gonna need all of that,
All of that, man.
because
All
the data is really powerful on its own, right? It is a very powerful thing to have that knowledge. But once you put it into a system that's capable of linking it to other pieces of data that didn't have relationships to it previously, and you're able to build, like, you ever seen one of those pictures where they just put a bunch of fucking dots on the page, and then when
yeah,
you're looking at it close, you see all the fucking dots, but then when you back up, you see the whole ass picture?
yeah.
That is what we're doing, right? And with every piece of data that gets added, our what do they call, our resolution gets higher. We pack more dots into those tiny little spaces until, instead of just looking at a few data points here and a few data points there, you're looking at, like, I don't know, a Monet or some shit of police fuck ups. And you can see, like, every time they've screwed up and every time they've made a good decision. And you can kind of weigh in the balance and be like, okay, it looks like he's actually trying to do good, or man, it kind of looks like this guy's a shitbag. And, proceed from there.
Oh no,
We should all have that power.
Susan Bassey had a question for
what
me
is
to
Miss?
ask.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
she wanted to know what about cops that have clean records that have never had a complaint against them, and you know, quote
So
unquote, they're the good cops. What are they going to be in the database too, and just like not really have any info on them, or
if we catch them on video, if somebody catches them on video, somebody sends us information and lets us know of an incident, right? Then
Or
we'll
if we
be
find
able
them on the
to,
department website or
right?
any of the
Or
department's official publications.
yeah. So the good clean record guys, right? Because it was her report that I was talking that made me think about a lot of this, right? And here's the thing: is if they have information that is out there that we can publicly get to, right? Because once it's signed behind the doors, right, we are still left up to the same monotony of bullshit that everybody else is up against, right? But if we have a YouTube video of Officer Clean Record being a complete asshole and doing something really wrong, right? It doesn't go away from us. It's still associated to him, right? And again, we're not we're not here to determine whether or not they were, we will personally have our opinions, okay? But they're not going to be able to hide if there is some kind of public record for it, right? And it doesn't have to be public as in what the government gives us, right? Look at how many cops have been that good cop that got caught. Your video of the murder, right, is an exact example of that situation, right? They would still be good cops, would be labeled as good cops had it not been for that security camera, right?
Right.
You also have to remember the most powerful lobbying that's ever done in my opinion, is done, second to the tech industry is the police unions. Okay. If we can get the public side of their agreements, right, then we can understand how their internal system works, right? Because you're never going to beat them at their own game if you don't know their rules. Okay. And as soon as we start finding out the rules, now we can start asking the right questions, right? It's like some people out there that give the information on how to write a good open records request. First guy that pops in my head is Justin Pulliam, right? Next guy that pops to my head is Lenny. Then the next guy after that would be like a really fresh dude called BZ Watchdog, right? And when this dude sends me records, he sends me the freaking request that he made with the record, right?
Oh, nice.
So right, so I've got not only the record request, I've got the response to that record's request, right?
That
Now I
helps
have
see things like what they're denying.
exactly, and what law they like to use a lot, right? Again, all of these connections of how the data is connected to each other, we're putting dots and lines to it, right? So just being able to identify the cop is literally the stepping stone to get us to the rest of us.
Yeah, that's like the icing on the cake, right? The really tasty part that everybody really likes. They're like, oh, that's really pretty. The facial recognition, it's really just it's kind of a gimmick, right? Like anybody could do facial recognition if they had a picture of all the cops. Right? It's really about the data that's buried under those profiles. Like that's really what's going to change things, we think.
Yeah.
Being able to identify them is nice, but being able to know a little bit more than just like, okay, this cop has hit this guy, he works for this department, but to see all of the stuff we dig up on him, that's where we think the real power is going to come from.
Exactly, because we all know what a gypsy cop is. Or at least everybody that comes to this channel. We all understand what a gypsy cop is. We all understand that, they quit before they're actually, and this is something that really burns my ass. How the fuck can you quit and an investigation stop? Okay. How does that happen?
Yeah,
right?
That doesn't make sense.
If you go steal from fucking Best Buy, Walmart, pick a fucking box store, and you go, oh, I stole, but I'm going to quit. You can't charge me anymore.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Right? Again,
Big Paso.
Right.
Sorry.
It falls into that. It's just like, how does that work? Okay, fine. If y'all's rules say that he can do that, that's great. But I'm not going to let it slide that he did that. Right? I mean, I'm going to keep record that he did that. So the next time some poor asshole gets his ass beat or gets, shot in the fucking chest and survives, right? We can show that this is a pattern happening. Right? This is not something that was a one-off situation. Whether or not they legally get to, I'm not even getting into the legals of it. right?
Wipe
Because
stuff off
I
the
don't
record.
know how. Yeah, I don't know how it's actually gonna play out. But damn it, I wanted to be able to say, hey, look, by the way, while you're investigating this, right, and defense lawyer this, here's some other information that should be known. Right now, whether or not you get to introduce it into the court or any of that crap, I have no clue. Not a bar member, never tried to be, don't want to be. Right. That's kind of like getting the oil changed on my car for me. I'd rather pay somebody else to do it.
Right.
Right.
So one big
You
thing
know,
I wanted to note on for Miss Bassey um, was we're working on a system to request directly from the post certification boards in the states to get a list of all of the officers that they currently have issued certifications for.
Oh, I love that.
Right. So I've already got, like, if you look at pretty much any department in Missouri, you can find officers, even if we don't have their picture. You can find their profile because I got talked to the Missouri Post and I got a list of everybody with a certification. So we have the
That is
names of pretty
dope.
much every cop in Missouri. We're still
I love
lacking
that.
information on a lot of them, but we'll eventually, yeah, we'll have them all, like good, bad, new, old. Like they're like Pokemon.
you gotta have them
You
all.
know, the Garbage Pail Kids fucking
Yes,
cards. Like,
ma'am.
okay,
Yes,
dude,
ma'am.
we need. You know how like the cops had their little baseball card things back in the '90s and shit. We need
Uh-huh.
to make Garbage Pail Kids of the cops.
The really good ones and the really bad ones, and make a trading
Yeah,
card game. That would be sick.
that would be hilarious. Or like make a Cards Against Humanity, but like cop fucking status.
Speaking of Cards Against Humanity, I stuck a pack of Cards Against Humanity in the bag I'm taking to Florida, so if I get bored, I can play games.
That's
And
funny.
Oh,
speaking
I'm so mad that I'm not going. But I gotta
and
do.
speaking
I have to do this fucking New York thing and
right, and
that
Garbage
fucking
Pail
tapped me
Kids
out.
on the front of my PC right now. There's Shane Payne, Attractive
That's funny.
Albert, Rad Brad, and Bungie Benny.
I'm punching in.
Dude, you're
Yeah,
so dope.
I don't know about that, but they're rocking on the front of the PC right now.
That is great. I love it.
I'm just
I
a nerd
love
from
it.
back in the day, you know.
So, for anybody out there that doesn't know who Desert Goat's talking about, that would be Leon Valley, and that would be Salty Badge. Would be the police officer, Salvaggio, right?
Yeah, I remember him.
Oh yeah, Salvaggio. Salvaggio, had we had this up when he was doing his bullshit, he'd be on the front page, right? He would be on the front page. Watch out for this guy, right?
Whatever happened to him anyway?
Oh, he got fired, then they found him somewhere else, and everybody went down there and made a little hoopla about it, and I mean, I don't know what happened to him, but him and his blonde-headed girlfriend that likes to be city manager, uh, those are some of the connections that I want to make, right? Because if I know that I mean, what was that town in Texas that was like all freaking cop rejects? There was a town in Texas.
Oh, I remember that. Where they were all
Right.
leaving from the one place and going, like, after they got fired, going over to the little shitty town. There's a
And
place
they
like
had,
that in New York too.
yeah, exactly. So, it's these kind of things where it's like, okay, dude quit, fired. We'll have to legally say that he quit, right? But this was the incident right before he quit, right?
Right.
And then, holy shit, we got over here and we had another incident similar to that, and I mean, to make all these connections on all these individuals and all this crazy crap, right? I mean, you've seen what the government's putting into data centers, right? We
Well,
don't
every single one of these cops who has been prosecuted for, abuse of power or excessive force or
almost
murder,
part,
they like almost every single one of them. They have a history of it,
right?
Mm-hmm.
and they should
I mean,
never even get that far. I mean, what once is what is it? Once is happenstance, Twice is coincidence, and third time shows purpose and intent.
And a
Indeed,
pattern.
it does, and the pattern, right? And that's the power with the data that we can parse and the data that we can collect. The power is the pattern, right? Because anybody can go out there and collect all this data, but if you don't know how to represent it in a way that's useful, you basically just have a sludge pit of oil, right? Because you don't know how to refine it, right? And that's where, my experience, EJ's experience, No Name's experiences can come in, right? Whether it's from the computer side, whether it's from firsthand knowledge of, having to deal with these situations, things like that, it's really how you tie this data together and how you represent this data is what's going to make it powerful, right? Because the more times that officer 1234 shows up in my fucking database, the more times I'm going to be able to say either he's like, I'm going to use No Name's term, he's a shitbag, or he's a wonderful officer, right? That got caught up in some bad shit, right? But I want to be able to have that data, and I want to be able to share that data, and I want other people that understand the systems that it takes to produce these type of reports that is required to jump on board with us, right?
Hell yeah.
If any of the lawyers out there want to talk to us, we'll talk to you, right? If any of the big acronym lawyers want to talk to us, we'll talk to you, okay? We'll talk to you. But don't think you're going to get this data for free, right? That we cannot survive by giving it away for free. So, we want to talk to you. We want to, work with you guys. We want to work with the news agencies. Anybody out there that hears this, that wants to talk to us about this and wants to genuinely help us with this, send us an email at info@thepolicerecord.com. Again, that's info, INFO, @thepolicerecord.com, right? Reach out to us. Don't expect a 24-hour turnaround time, right? It might be a couple days before we get back to you. Don't lose hope in that, right? And the other thing that I can tell you is the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So reach out to us on our social medias, reach out to us on the police records, bloobs, right? Reach out to us, because we're not going to be able to do this. We can't do this alone. We need our support from everybody, right? And if we're really going to have this conversation, we're going to need you bar cards.
For real.
Brandon Mitchell. Amen, brother. Ask gas or cash. Nobody rides for fee. And sorry, we don't need any ass and we don't need any gas right now. So we're going to ask for cash or data, right? And the data is the liquid gold. And that data, how we help put that data together and show you how it's connected is the specialty that we do, right? We're your PI on steroids. Why? Because our computers don't sleep. Our computers don't sleep. Once we teach them how to go ask questions, let's say we go ask the wrong question. Guess what? We can train it to go ask the right question, right? The data that we got back is not trash, right? It's not like we're going and collecting every freaking picture off of news. We'll just say 9news.com or whatever, right? We're going and we're specifically looking for certain information to trigger us to copy data, right? For us to actually gather data. This isn't just where we go send the dog out and go, okay, go hoover up the whole fucking internet. We are telling you to go search.
Did you guys ever get a chance to look through that email? Did you guys search through that email address?
I gave it to No Name. I searched it and ran into exactly what you were talking about, how in the beginning it was really refined and everything. And then all of a sudden it went to spam hell, basically.
Yeah, because I gave up, man. I just gave up. I'm like, I'm not going to even be doing this anymore. So I just canceled all the all the Google
You didn't get them
what do you
all because
call
I got
them?
a new one today.
Alerts.
You didn't get them
Right?
all because I got a
Oh,
new one today.
really?
It said, yeah, it gave me a new
Oh,
email today.
damn.
So we got more police data. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it is definitely kicking.
Right on. We'll
yeah.
fucking just add to it.
Hell
Fucking
yeah.
that you guys will have forever and always full access to that account. Yeah, because yeah, man, there was so
So
much more on there too that I deleted. Like I deleted like 3 years worth of shit.
yeah, man. See.
You're as
So
bad as
that's
the cops with deleting records, Noli.
I know. Damn it.
I know. God damn it. I'd
Hey, I
make
want
an
to say.
excellent cop, huh?
Oh man. At least they're good public records custodian.
Right? Oh, sorry, we deleted that.
Sorry, we have no information pertaining to that request. That's how you answer that question.
These are all of the responsive records, and it's just a picture of the middle finger.
Yep.
Yeah.
High speed. What's going on, man?
That would be hilarious. Oh my god.
Right. I can't wait till the first one of them contacts our records department.
Hmm.
That's great. So yeah. So how many years of stuff was on there? Like
It
I'm
went
just
back
I
a
curious.
didn't even.
while.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
several
There's.
years.
Well, I hope you guys get good info out of there and that it's helpful because I know what I was using it for, and I was trying to compile my own numbers list of people killed by cops and people killed or died in prison that their cause of death was either unknown or natural causes, but they
Mm-hmm.
weren't because one, there's not a coroner out there who puts natural causes and hasn't since the 1970s because nobody dies of quote unquote natural causes. They die from complications of A, B, C, or D.
Right.
There is no
Heart
dying of old
attack.
age. It's dying of complication to old age, which is a weak heart or whatever the fuck.
Culinary,
I'll be back.
pulmonary failure or
Okay,
some shit. For
but
sure.
yeah, they don't do that. And so when a prison is like 90% of their death certificates say either cause of death unknown or cause of death is natural causes, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. And I just wanted to compile my own numbers because I knew that the numbers that the news was reporting, this 1,200 a year or 1,300 a year, didn't add up when you took into account all the deaths that happened not by a gun but by neglect or by physical beatings or by suffocation or by you know ramming them with their car and running them off the fucking road into a ditch and then they die, or letting those girls drown in the fucking lake. They just watched as the car fucking went under the water and just did nothing and let them
Did
die.
nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
You
That
know,
is.
and if you add in all those people, the number was more like almost 4,000 people a year.
That's insane.
Not 1,200 a year.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and that's why I made that account and why I started having it like pull up all that shit. And then I also wanted to make another one about sexual assault by cops and domestic violence by cops because I thought that I still feel that information is wrong too. The statistic information that we get from the news,
Yes.
their numbers are wrong. I know they're wrong.
Well, if they're self-reported, right? How many cops are going to answer honestly about that?
Well, I mean, there's always going to be like a news, as long as they get caught anyway, there's always going to be a news article about it somewhere, even if
Yep.
it's just local news. And that's something that I do like about Google alerts because even if it's not in the national news, it's just in some local fucking little newspaper that goes to one
pops
town and
up.
one town only. That shit will pop up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you'll see like repeats of it because the ones that do take off, it'll start out like in a small local fucking paper and then it'll go to like their nearest big city paper and then their state capital paper, and then it'll hit like the weekly fucking shit that comes out for national fucking news, and so you end up with repeats, but each one has different information. I think that's another thing that's really important is to get all the information, because a lot of times the local paper will have more details or more telling details about the situation than what the national paper put out or what the state's paper put out, because they don't, it's like the higher up in the media, it's just like the higher up in the government, they go along to get along,
Right.
and so they whitewash the information the bigger it gets, or
Yes,
they
they do.
sensationalize it, and but they do it in a
Oh,
way that is,
unfortunately.
yeah, it makes the victim out to be the fucking bad guy every time. And even if they are bad guy, I mean, dude, like, so what? A kid was fucking freaking out because he was off his meds or he was high on something. There was no way he was going to hurt you. You could have waited for backup. You could have fucking used your baton, but no, you pull your gun, you shoot him once in the chest, you look around, look at an eyewitness, then look back at the dude, and then shoot him again in the head. Like, what the fuck?
Because police accountability is like right now in the state it's in, it's a joke, right? We let them investigate themselves, and we all know most of the
You give
time
them immunity,
yeah,
fucking
they absolve
based on
themselves
the
of
dumbest fucking
wrongdoing.
shit.
And then we've got even the times when they're found to be responsible for their actions. Most of the time, the punishment is nothing more than like a little slap on the wrist. They get a stern talking to, or they might have to do some additional training, but there's no actual punishment.
Yeah, they need training. No, they don't. They were evil when they got there. Training
And
has nothing to that has nothing to do with training when you're an evil son of a bitch who abuses their power and beats on people, or makes up reasons to arrest people, or frames people fucking for shit, or plants drugs on people for shit. You're a bad person. That has nothing to do with training.
right,
You know right from wrong. It's just crazy to me. Training. Fuck you, people. Oh shit! Hey, so I got work to do, so I'm gonna jump off this thing, you guys.
yes, ma'am.
I just got a what the fuck? Where you at? Fucking message.
Yes, ma'am. You have a great night, and thank you very much for having us. I really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you guys. I will. I'm going to break some of this down into short clips, and I'll make sure and send them to you guys so you can post them on your channels.
Sweet, that's awesome. And make sure to watch out next week. I'll be going live on my trip out there. So,
Hell yeah, I'll be there.
hell yeah. See you guys.
All right, good night, guys. Bye.